And today we're kind of just really zoning in and focusing on self-care. So we wanted to invite Mai Trin, who is the founder of My Health Now in Northern Virginia. And is a certified holistic health counselor, and she'll spend a little time talking about the importance of self-care. I can tell you, I have personally been looking forward to this all day because I think it's a great way to kind of just end the day thinking about how we can take better care of ourselves. And with that, welcome Mai.
Hi, everybody. It is so nice to be here. So I'm a certified holistic health counselor. I also have a graduate degree. I have a master's in science in global health with a specialty in chronic disease prevention. And I want to start the seminar with really giving yourself self-compassion because you've been through the ringer, not only with COVID, but your family situation. And it's through self-compassion that we make the most impactful shifts in our life. So I love this quote, if you don't take care of your body, where are you going to live? And this has everything to do with where you are right now. And I'm going to give you research to further this importance of self-compassion and self-care. But first, I want to start with a breathing technique in just a minute. So in this webinar, I'm going to do a mindfulness exercise. I'm going to give you tips on how to build your resilience. We'll talk about stressful events in your health and why you really, really need to unapologetically focus on your self-care and centering yourself and mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of being present with all of your senses with no judgment towards yourself or the situation at hand. And this gives your brain a vacation from obsessing about the future, which tends to be anxiety, or obsessing about the past, which can lead you to depression. We're going to talk about the obstacles in the way of good health. I'm going to give you solutions, and then I'm going to give you resources. And I will be checking the chat box if you have any questions during this presentation. So we're going to start with a mindfulness exercise because you just had a lot of information. It can be stressful. And when you're in a stressful mode, you tend to not make the best decisions. So as much as you can, you want to activate your parasympathetic nervous system, which is your rest and digest part of your nervous system. And this allows your prefrontal cortex of your brain to practice impulse control and emotional regulation. The sympathetic nervous system is your fight or flight or freeze response. And that's when your impulse control and your critical thinking stops because your body thinks it's running from a lion. So this breathing technique that I'm about to walk you through helps activate the rest and digest part of your nervous system so you can make better decisions. So what we're going to do is we're going to breathe. Before I start, I want to tell you what we're going to do. We're going to breathe in through our nose for 4 counts. Don't worry, I'll do the counting. We're going to hold for 7, and we're going to breathe out through our mouth for 8 counts. And we'll do this in a cycle of 8. And this is something that you can do when you wake up in the morning, when your cortisol levels are going up, and you can do it before bed just in case you're not sleeping well. So close your eyes, roll your shoulders, breathe in through your nose, breathe out through your mouth. Allow yourself to relax. Put your hands on your lap. In 1 minute, I'm going to start. I'm going to start with the counting so you don't have to count. And this technique was created by Dr. Andrew Weil so that you could activate your prefrontal cortex, which is your impulse control and your emotional regulation. So breathe in through your nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale through your mouth. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last cycle, breathe in through your nose, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathe in through your nose, breathe out through your mouth, come back to the room, open your eyes, and you can tell me how that was for you. I'm checking the chat box. This breathing technique helps build resilience. When we're stressed, we tend not to have deep breaths. So you can live without food for months and just drink water. You can live without water for 7 or 8 days. You can only live without breathing for about 2 minutes. So your breath is what can calm your nerves. So I want you to take one hand on your chest and the other hand on your stomach. I want you to breathe in through your nose, breathe out through your mouth, breathe in through your nose, breathe out through your mouth. And if you notice, the hand on your stomach goes in and out. And when that is happening, you're taking deep breaths that can activate your impulse control and your emotional regulation. So next time you're in a very stressful situation with your ex, start practicing deep breathing so that you don't make unnecessary mistakes. So this webinar is about the importance of building emotional and physical and spiritual resilience. So the first thing you can do to build resilience is just breathe and practice deep breaths with one hand on your chest and the other one on your stomach, and making sure that the one on your stomach goes in and out. The second thing you can do is practice mindfulness. That is no judgment towards yourself or the situation at hand. You are going towards acceptance and making good decisions, not impulsive ones. And mindfulness can get you there. You can practice mindfulness through active listening. The next time someone speaks to you, instead of finishing their sentence, you're using all of your senses to actively listen and be present with no judgment towards yourself or the situation at hand. And you'll notice that leaves a really great, and it leaves a very great impression on the person who you're speaking with. So the next time you think that you're multitasking, put your phone away and pay attention. In fact, Harvard Business Review did a study on multitasking, and they found that multitaskers are 40 to 60% less efficient than people who do one task at a time. The second thing you can do is get a solid support team, like the Argent Advisors. They're a great support team. Get a therapist, get good friends. You want to find your fans during this difficult time. And lastly, mind your sleep. This is the easiest way to build your physical resilience, is getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Studies show that getting less than 6 hours of sleep increases depression, anxiety, chronic disease, and even suicide. And getting too much sleep, that's over 9 hours of sleep, can increase chronic disease and depression as well. So it's the easiest thing to boost your mood. Are there any questions so far? So what you're going through is so stressful. This is the Holmes and Raw stress scale. It's the 10 most stressful life events that anyone can go through. So again, self-compassion and also permission to take care of your health as though your life depends on it, because it does, is critically important. So death of a spouse is 100 on the Holmes and Ross stress scale. The divorce is number 2 and marital separation is number 3. So many of us are going through 2 to 3 right now. Why does this matter? And what does this have to do with you? So this was a calculated formula for chronic disease. Now, it doesn't mean that if you go through a divorce or separation that you will get a chronic disease, but if you don't take care of yourself, you increase the likelihood. So 80% are more likely of illness with scores over 300. 50%, the score is 150 to 299, you have an increased chance of getting a chronic disease. And of course, you have a 30% chance if your scores are less than 150. So you can check this scale out on the internet to see where you land. And if it's on the high side, it doesn't mean it's a death knell. It just means that you have to practice radical self-care and give yourself permission to take care of your health. So Dr. Linda Waite of the University of Chicago talked about how mental health and self-care are intertwined. So what she found was when we go through a serious life shift like divorce or death, we tend to go on a downward spiral of letting go of our physical and mental health. And the physical side really impacts the mental side. So many of you may be fighting for your kids, fighting for just your existence. Remember, you want to fight for your health for sure, because without your mental health, it's very hard to make good decisions. And you can do this. So a little bit about divorce. The statistics show that divorced people were 20% more likely to have chronic diseases like heart disease, diabetes, and cancer, or other chronic diseases if they don't take care of themselves. Also, if you don't take care of yourself, you're more likely to have mobility problems. And then if you're not taking care of yourself and you are divorced, but you still get remarried, you can still have these issues if you're not practicing self-care. The good news is so much of this is within your control. You don't want to be a statistic. Your health is in your control. So remember, what you focus on grows. So if you focus on being empowered and best practices of how to take care of your health and well-being, your health outcomes are going to grow. You're going to make better choices. You're not going to be impulsive, and you're going to keep your cool during a very difficult chapter in your life. Remember, if you focus on your health, your emotional, mental, and physical resilience will grow. If you focus on being bitter, your bitterness will grow. So really look at what you're focusing your time on. I love the podcast. It's called The Happiness Lab by Dr. Laurie Santos. And I'll write that in the chat box. It's a free podcast. It's called The Happiness Lab. And Dr. Laurie Santos is a professor at Yale that specializes in positive psychology. And she gives you on this podcast evidence-based research on how to boost your mood and to empower yourself. So I highly recommend you check that out. Also, most importantly, show up for yourself. Make a commitment to prioritize your health first without guilt, right? And that could be walking for 30 minutes a day. That also could be adding both joy and health into your life daily. So joy and health in the same sentence. What is joyful and healthy for you? So some people say, you know, drinking 3 glasses of wine is very joyful for me, but is it healthy? So examples might be walking your dog, putting down your phone and spending 10 minutes of your undivided attention with your children. It could be calling a college friend that always makes you laugh. Quality connections is one of the biggest indicators of longevity and chronic disease prevention, according to longevity studies by Harvard and Stanford. So this is my healthy pyramid balance. So first you want to see what fuels you're putting in your body, right? So whole foods,